Good morning, good evening, good night. The end is near. We rejoice despite. This is the unassuming bravado of brave knights. Well, as far as vlog goes, it's only natural I explain my platform and what defines my game. You see, I am a very spiritual person. And by that I mean I like to indulge in psychedelics. I've been like that since when I was somewhere around 15, 16 years old when I smoked cannabis for the first time. Back then, it was in Denmark, it was hashish. You could say it was love at first sight, or should we say love at first puff. And ever since, cannabis has been a very big component of my life. It is my religious experience. It is my spiritual experience. It is the thing that takes me to that place where I have gratitude for life and everything that surrounds me. In the early years, of course, it helped me a lot, especially being a teenager and having a lot of questions about life and what it all meant and who I was, trying to find my place and myself in it all. It showed me life from another perspective. It helped me get a better understanding of myself and my surroundings. Take a look at the beauty in the smaller things in life. It's a great thing. And for years, I indulged in cannabis. Most of them was very controlled and very positive. And to be honest, I haven't had a negative experience with cannabis ever. All my highs have been great, and I've been very fortunate to have cannabis in my life. I say it's a big part of my life. And I've always tried to put that aspect front and center. It is something that I hold very dear in my life. But I have reached a point where I had to put it aside. You see, I've always wanted to come to California, especially since cannabis became legal, and I wanted to try these different strains. You know, California Kush has been very talked about, sought after, and I wanted to try it. And especially one of the things that I really wanted was to try the vapes, the THC vapes, because then you didn't have the hassle of rolling a joint or carrying a bunch of joints in your cigarette pack and stuff like that, which was a usual thing for me. Now, I came to California and it coincided with the pandemic where we had to be at home and there wasn't much things to do, so it was a lot of time of smoking weed. And I may have taken it a little bit too far, a little bit too far, to a point where when I came to my senses, I was like, this is a bit too much. Like, everything is good in moderation. You know what I mean? The religious experience or the spiritual experience is good in moderation. You want to get your inspiration and then go out and live them. But when it came to the point where I wanted to go be active and live it and achieve it, I was unable. I was kind of unable to put down the vape. See, I don't know what's in the product nowadays, but it's very addictive. Like, I never had the problem where I could not smoke. Like, just put it aside, go out, do something. You come back, you know, whatever. Later on at night, you get high again, or maybe not today at all, maybe another day. With this new product, that is not the case. Anyhow, I had reached a point where I could not stop smoking, and Worse than that, I was high to a point where I could not do what I wanted to do. I just wanted to smoke some more. And it kind of was starting to become a cause of depression. A lot of anxiety came with it, because when I wasn't high, it was as if I wasn't equipped to deal with my reality, especially since I wasn't doing the things that I had to do. So a lot of work had piled up that needed to be done, and I was behind, and I couldn't get to them. I couldn't focus anymore. And understand, the potency of the weed we are talking about is extremely high. It's another level. And to be honest with you, I sometimes think to myself, can this be categorized as cannabis? Like, if what we smoked in the 90s and early 2020s was cannabis, is this also cannabis? Because the two are just so different. The experience is so different. Let's say, in a bad example, I would say there's a difference between coke and crack, and maybe this is cannabis and crack cannabis. But let me give you another example. A lizard, chemically enhanced or otherwise, becomes Godzilla. The two are not the same. One is afraid of us, the other frightens us. The two are not the same, they are two different species. Same goes with the cannabis. It has become so enhanced. It has become so potent, like potency of THC going to 90%, 95, 98, 105%. There's no more CBD in the product anymore, nothing to calm you. The whole thing is psychoactive. Now, I am not someone to say what this product is like scientifically, but it seems to me, not only has it changed so much that it may not even be what we used to smoke. It's also a problem with the things that they add to it. Like when you smoke oil or even the bud, the things that they add to it makes it more addictive. Anyone who have smoked in the past and smoked the products that exist now could attest to that. They are much more addictive. It's much more harder to put it aside. And that's why I reached the point that I needed to stop. I've stopped 6 months now, actually almost 8 months now. And my goal is to go a whole year without smoking weed. I think by then I would have achieved some type of control again over the matter, where I could smoke every once in a while, have the motivation, the aspirations, and then go do them and enjoy it. Reach a place where it is in my control and not the other way around. I must say, the whole experience of legalization may not have been as sweet as we had expected, because it started a whole arms race of who can create the most potent weed. And by the rate of things, by the speed of potency going higher and higher, soon it may not even be safe to smoke weed anymore. I mean, if you go online and do a search, you'll see more and more articles coming out about people with depressions, anxiety, physical problems, and nausea, and etc., going to the emergency room seeking professional help because they've used too much cannabis. I don't think that was the goal with the whole movement of making cannabis legal. And sometimes I think to myself, say tomorrow mushrooms become legal, will it have the same fate as cannabis? I'm telling you, once upon a time, you would smoke, you would go to La La Land. Now you smoke, you go to Lulu Land. And one was beautiful, this one is frightening. I don't know where we're going with all this. I think it's unfortunate that we no longer can get the good old Kush. Look at this. Hear what I'm saying. I'm saying if people want this very potent strains of cannabis, good for them. It exists. They can go and have it. But what about those of us who just want a mellow experience with cannabis, the way that it was? Why is it that the good old classic strains of cannabis no longer exist? How could it disappear? To summarize, cannabis has changed, and my experience has changed with it, and I think that is very unfortunate. I have been forced to take a break. The break has been long, and there's still ways to go, and I miss it so. Yet, I know that it is absolutely necessary that I gain control of my consumption. So, this is where I stand. State of cannabis, a little bit sad in my opinion. Love to hear your opinion in this regard. Put it in the comment. See you in the next video. Peace.